Welcome to the Coconuts Podcast. Today is May 7, 2021. The Coconuts Podcast is your home for top trending news and pop culture from all across Southeast Asia and Hong Kong. I'm Nurul Azlia.
And I'm Samali. What's up, Nurul?
Woot woot! How's it going? This is
Going
our
good.
first time together.
Girl power. Yeah, we decided that men are trash, so Vim is sitting this one out. I'm just kidding, of course, because he's doing like a full day recce of like locations and shit.
Is he
he's
out
busy.
in like some remote island?
That's a good question because I also want to go. How come I don't get to go?
You ran out of Singapore Rediscover vouchers, is it?
Damn it, yeah, I used mine. Have you used yours?
No, actually, I'm one of those who's like procrastinating and just having difficulties. Not having difficulties lah. Like I know it's not, a lot of people say that it's actually quite a lot of steps that you have to go through to kind of book and use your vouchers, right? So I'm one of those who, like, if I need to click like more than 5 times to get something online, then I give up. And that's the reason why I keep procrastinating. Yep, so I haven't used it.
Okay. Okay, yay, because they extended it to like December or whatever, right?
Yeah, so I have a lot of time. Cool.
Damn it. I just like use mine. Then they announced that. Then I'm like, damn it, I could have procrastinated. Damn it.
What do you use it for?
I went on a staycation. Yeah, what else do you do in this country, please? I'm gonna die. There's like nothing to do.
Yeah, they should have like let us use it for like hawker meals or something.
Yes, I would eat so much, dude. Like for $100. No, we should work for STB.
Yeah.
Advertise with our in-house agency Grove. Fast, funny, digital. Join forces with us to slay buzzwords, rise above the noise, and sow the seeds of something great. Get in touch via coconuts.co/grove.
And now for our top stories of the week, starting in Bali. Forbes, the American business magazine, is being criticized after they published an article that encouraged readers to quit that day job and move to an island that's so cheap you don't have to work. Yep. This is coming just months after there was the controversy surrounding that tourist that got deported for promoting Bali as like a cheap place for Americans to come and live a cheap life. So anyways, this piece, which was actually a rehash of a news report from International Living, which is also a US-based publication, the article was published on April 30, and it actually listed 15 cheap islands around the world where people can live on as little as $1,200 a month. And other than Bali, there's also Penang and Koh Samui. So a lot of people, especially Indonesians, who are just sick and tired, or foreigners just taking advantage of the low cost of living in their country, obviously criticized this article heavily. And one of them, which was quoted in our article, said, "No, are you insane? What is this? Please get rid of this type of obsession. Back then, your ancestors straight out colonized many countries. Now all of you indirectly seek to take people's land in the name of looking for an exotic place to live?" ?
Oh my god, that was freaking amazing. But that is true, dude. Like, as funny as it is, it's freaking true. Your ancestors colonized my land. Now you're coming back for part 2 and you're gonna take the cute villas?
Yeah.
God.
So yeah. I don't know whether Forbes actually took that article down or reacted to the backlash.
Then again, right? If I was them, I think I would shut up.
Yeah, right. Or maybe just don't do anything about it, because that's what I realize a lot of people doing now. Like whenever there's like backlash or a lot of heat online, and they just like wait it out until like the heat goes away. And people grow tired about it.
Exactly, looking at you, problematic Singaporean influencers. Okay, I'm just kidding. They can't sue me, you know. But yeah, over in Bangkok, hundreds of Klong Toy residents get jabbed after virus erupts in Riverside Quarter. Holy shit. There are around 1,000 people in a sprawling, squalid community by the Chao Phraya River lined up to get vaccinated on the first day of the campaign to inoculate 50,000 residents in a densely populated area.
Ooh.
I know, right? We are at a Tesco Lotus on Rama 4 Road and the Klong Toy Witaya School, residents of the Klong Toy, as the large informal community is known, arrived to get doses of Sinovac and Sinovac, and AstraZeneca
Tomato.
vaccine. Right. Like the Americans, all the people from the UK and Singapore and people who have been colonized by them will fight me either way. But yeah, so they lined up for the vaccines amid the latest outbreak, which has seen the highest ongoing death toll since the pandemic began. And yeah, this campaign also comes after 300 Klong Toy residents became infected. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration expects to complete the campaign within 2 weeks by vaccinating 2,000 to 3,000 people per day. And the officials said that they plan to proactively administer around 20,000 COVID-19 tests on the Klong Toy population by May 19th. Damn. I don't know how to feel. It's like all these headlines about, like clusters emerging. And it's like thinking about how in Singapore, we also have some emerging. It's like, shit, we're kind of right where we started maybe a year ago. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I know. Like a lot of people say that okay, the numbers in Singapore are small in comparison to other countries, but because our country is so small, right? Like anytime the numbers reach double digits in a day, like you will just trigger anxiety.
Yeah, dude, it's like reading like headlines after headlines. I think it's called doom scrolling, which is a very cute term for something so horrible. But yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, I can't believe we're back in phase 2.
I know.
Sucks. Anyways, in Hong Kong, this is like the funniest story I've read all week. Drunk foreigner steals taxi near Lan Kwai Fong and drives to Wan Chai. So there was this intoxicated man who stole an idle taxi in Lan Kwai Fong. This happened over the weekend. He then drove it to Wan Chai, where he abandoned it by the side of the road. So the man, he is British, but he holds a Hong Kong identity card. Ended up testing almost 5 times over the drink drive limit. So this happened like after midnight. There was this taxi guy, like he was actually approached by the British man for a ride, but he just waved him off. So in the end, the man just helped himself and got into the taxi, put his backpack, which had a tennis racket in it. He just put his backpack in the front passenger seat and drove off. And then it just started a chase. So the taxi driver immediately like jumped onto another taxi and chased after this man for like an hour. An hour later, they found the taxi, but the taxi was already empty. Taxi was empty, and they searched the man in the area, and then they eventually found him and called the police, and obviously the police tested him and arrested him. He didn't steal anything from the taxi. He really just needed a ride. And because he got rejected, he just helped himself to the car.
Oh my god. This guy is like the king of DIY.
So there was no damage to the vehicle as well, even though he was drunk. So that's good.
My god, I don't even know where to start, but this guy is playing Grand Theft Auto in real life. And
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, no damage to the vehicle, but this guy is like 5 times over the limit, the alcohol limit, and I don't know, this guy might be Superman, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's super expert at being drunk.
Good for him, but holy shit. Yeah, don't do that lah, but holy shit, that's funny. Oh man. And over in Jakarta, a bit of sad news because drastic COVID-19 surges were seen in 7 Indonesian provinces ahead of the Eid holiday. But yeah, so in these 7 provinces, these are actually all major Mudik Eid exodus destinations in the lead up to the Islamic holiday, which falls on May 12th to 14th. And yeah, the Riau Islands saw the most dramatic surge recently, recording an increase in COVID-19 cases by 183.9% in the week between April 11 to 30th. The Riau province recorded a 131.7% increase in the same period, followed by Lampung with 100.8%, Bangka Belitung Islands with a 99.5%, Bengkulu with a 94.9%, and West Sumatra with 62.9%, and West Kalimantan with 59.9%. And the government is actually banning Mudik from May 6th to 17th, and they have tightened travel restrictions for a week before and after the ban. But the government says that the surge in the 7 provinces is at least partly attributable to those who return to their hometowns from major cities early to beat the ban.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. It's a mouthful.
Yeah. So basically, all of the search were more than half compared to like previous rates.
Yeah, man, and that's like super crazy because we've seen that in like, Hari Raya from last year, if you will, and like people trying to get back and celebrate Chinese New Year or Hari Raya with their family, but they couldn't, and now they still can't. So it's like, when does it end?
I know, it's so depressing. Well, in KL, thousands of Malaysians this week turn up at various vaccination centers to get the AstraZeneca vaccine. It was quite an impressive turnout, considering that there's some safety concerns surrounding this vaccine. There are reports of people getting blood clots, but it's really a small percentage actually. So it's actually you compare it to like the number of people, the massive number of people who has taken it. It's actually a very small percentage of people who are experiencing blood clots. But in Malaysia, because of that safety concern, the government decided to drop AstraZeneca from the main vaccination program. And open it to anyone who want to take it up like on a voluntary basis. So after they announced that, 268,000 people registered for it, which is basically all of the doses that they have. And they started rolling it out yesterday. And there were like thousands of people at the various vaccination centers taking out the jab. But those who don't want to take the AstraZeneca jab, then they will just have to wait in line and according to the vaccination rollout, which is currently still prioritizing the elderly. Yeah. I think they follow Singapore. They always follow Singapore.
Right? Please, no, we're going to start a fight in the comments.
We're going to start with frontline workers, then the elderly, and like people with like underlying conditions, and then
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Right. No, have you gotten vaccinated? I don't know what the age is right now, actually.
So for Singapore, we're not eligible yet because we're too young. But those 45 and below will be invited starting June. So you can like kind of do the math. Like maybe in June you have like the 44, and then the 43, 42, 41, and then like you just count backwards to 30. How old are you, by the way? Late 20s, early 30s? Oh, okay.
I'm
So you got a long
25.
way. Yeah, maybe Christmas.
Sian. I'm like, because right, like here in Singapore, we are like spoiled for choice. Apparently now we get to choose between Pfizer and Moderna, and like so we just get to go to whichever clinic. But like, will there be like a choice left by the time it gets to us young people? Is the question.
Yeah, I wonder what choices will be available then. Because I mean, unless they buy some more supplies of the Pfizer or Moderna, because if not, then they will have to like opt for other choices, right?
Yeah, but
there's
like,
a Sinovac one.
Well, okay then. But you see, I see myself more of a Pfizer girl. But then again, Dolly Parton like helped to fund Moderna, and like, so it's a bit like they want to like get a bit more clout, right? No, sorry, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's just cool, right? It's like it's not a personality thing, right? Like I'm a Pfizer, I'm a Moderna.
I love the tweets. They're like, "Oh my god, you took Moderna, disgusting." Oh my god,
it's crazy.
Whew. Okay, and over in Manila, a Canadian beauty queen calls out racist Filipino fans. Y'all, I mean, like, sometimes you think the internet is good, but then again, it presents us with stories like these, and it's like, maybe we should just like go back to playing with rocks. Yeah, but this
just
Filipino
rocks.
Exactly, like throw stones on the wall or something. Oh my god, we should all get our internet revoked. Yes, what is happening, Filipino pageant fans? Like this model, Nova Stevens, right, who's representing Canada in this year's Miss Universe pageant, and she's gorgeous, by the way. Just takes a Google search. She called out several like Filipino fans for making fun of her appearance and what is wrong with y'all, because she looks gorgeous, amazing, beautiful. And yeah, she posted screenshots of the comments made by the pageant fans, which ranged from scary to burnt chicken, which by the way is racist. And yeah, she said, with all that has been going on in the world with Black Lives Matter and Asians are human, you would think this would bring us together. Instead, it looks like some people are still stuck to their ignorant and racist ideologies. And
That
yeah,
is so mean.
it's so rude, dude. Like, you should not be on Facebook or have internet. You should play with rocks because, yeah, she said she was really disappointed with all these fans from certain countries, and your hate takes away the fun and enjoyment from this once in a lifetime experience. And is it really that difficult to spread love instead of hate? Facts, honestly, spitting facts. Because, like, it costs zero, right, to shut up, but you chose to, like, put in the effort to be a shithead on the internet. So,
I don't know. I think sometimes these people just follow the herd. They see that a lot of people are attacking her and they just jump on the bandwagon just like for fun, which is just dangerous. It's super dangerous behavior.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they think that if they criticize the person, then they can get like a lot of likes kind of thing. Like
That's why you just want attention. Just say your mother never hug you. I'm just kidding.
yeah, like you have daddy issues. Okay, move on.
Yeah, don't project on the internet, sister. Just log off. It's okay. It's free.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of projecting anger issues in Singapore, crazy thing just happened. Okay. Actually, we don't really know. We don't exactly know where this happened, but I'm pretty sure it's quite recent. So over the weekend, there was this video that was purportedly taken in Singapore because I think a lot of people can recognize the woman's voice and the place where they're at. So there's this woman who actually confronted 4 Muslim women dining at the hawker center in Singapore, what looked like a hawker center in Singapore. And one of them was eating non-halal food, which you can see from the crockery because it's red, and red usually indicates it's non-halal food at hawker centers. So this woman, you can hear from the voice from behind the camera that it's a woman. So this woman, she basically just went up to them and attacked them and like started questioning them, like, why are you dining in public? Like, it's like the Islamic holy month of Ramadan? Like, why aren't you respecting the month? And plus you're wearing the hijab. All 4 of them were wearing the hijab. You're wearing the hijab, and one of you are even like eating non-halal food like in public. So basically, this woman who just tries to be this religious police filmed them while berating them the whole time, and so in the video, like you can see, like one of them stood up for herself. She tried to come closer to the camera, but the woman behind the camera told her off and told her to sit down, and even threatened to report her to the Islamic Religious Authority in Singapore, who is MUIS. And when the Indonesian woman said that, her Islamic beliefs is just slightly different from hers, the woman who filmed the incident didn't want to take it. Yeah, she just went on like holier than thou, righteous bullshit. So there's been really strong reactions towards this video, and the reactions are like coming from even Malaysia and Indonesia. So there were people who are split, like the views are pretty split. Like there's this one camp that is against the person who filmed the whole incident because of the way she did it. I mean, if you want to maybe advise someone, that's not the way. That's not the way to like speak that way, talk down to people, and plus you're acting so angry, like when you should be practicing patience as part of your fasting. And then there are those people who think that those women were like disrespecting the month because not only are you eating in public, but you're also eating non-halal food in public while wearing like the religious garb in public. So they think that you're just projecting like a very not negative image, but I think it's just inconsistent to what a lot of people have been preaching about the religion. Like, there are people who say like, okay, we have to eat halal food because we're Muslim, and like Muslim women like to wear have to fast this month, and then after you have these people who like just ruin it for them, I think.
Oh no.
So yeah, I think for me, if I were to be in that situation, if I feel like I usually don't care, but if I feel like I need to like say something to the person, you can just say something nicely to the person, huh?
That's
You don't have to
why
like
you need to
take
take
video.
Exactly. It's like, it feels like since we got stomped, right? It's like, shit, man. Now everybody's a freaking journalist, like a video journalist. Gotta take it in real time. Gonna tell all my followers. Come on, man. Just tell them to their face. It's like free also.
Yes, exactly. And like nobody gets embarrassed because now, yeah, nobody gets embarrassed and people get the message across. So yeah.
Yeah, dude. And I'm just thinking about, the spate of incidences we've had with like one particular lady trying to film people in the train. Like people from minority races is like, hello, 'tis the season for filming people without their consent. Huh?
Yeah, and she's still going on and on about this.
My God, I know.
Yeah. Well, maybe we
Life.
should not stop giving people cameras.
That's true. Everybody go and play with rocks. Everybody go face the wall. Think about what you've done. Pick up a rock and paint it now.
Yes, do that. That should be the punishment for all these people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our top story for the week, it comes from Yangon, who are arguably facing one of the worst things to kind of happen right now. And it's still going on. Like, it's just like harrowing to read these headlines for real. But yeah, the world rallies on Global Myanmar Spring Revolution Day, and tens of thousands of pro-democracy protesters called for a global spring revolution for Myanmar, like in 18 countries and 37 cities across the world. Crazy shit.
Right.
Yep. And protesters clad in black raised 3 bloody fingers and called for an end to military rule and global recognition of the newly formed National Unity Government, a government in exile formed by deposed parliamentarians, ethnic minorities, and general strike committees. But yeah, as you all know, like the kind of 3-finger salute from the Hunger Games is now an emblematic symbol for democracy in the growing Milk Tea Alliance movement in Southeast Asia. Very cute, by the way. But yeah, it's sad that it has to exist. But yeah, the group last week called on everybody in Myanmar to honor the fallen heroes of Myanmar by wearing black and raising the bloody 3-finger strike. But yeah, the date was chosen for its similarity to February 22nd, 2021, aka the 22222 revolution. Another date chosen for echoing the 8888 revolution. And this is important in Myanmar, where numerology is widely believed to have direct consequences on everyday life and politics, and auspicious dates are chosen for broad acts of political dissent. And a good job they did. Yeah, because thousands took to the streets across 14 states and regions in Myanmar as the pro-democracy movement entered its 4th month of peaceful demonstrations despite ongoing security crackdowns that have killed more than 800 and seen detentions of more than 5,600 people, including politicians, journalists, doctors, teachers, students, and celebrities, according to the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners, Burma. Yeah, it's some crazy shit. I don't even know what to do. It feels like we read all these headlines, but what can we do?
Yeah,
probably.
but the people in Myanmar, wow, like the amount of courage that they have is like, I think they deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. They are so courageous, so fearless, right? All in the name of trying to protect their livelihood, and their country. There's like they just keep pushing it, even though like in a lot of countries, like it's actually pretty impossible to like get every single country to pay attention to you, because every country has like their own domestic issues to deal with. But they just keep pushing, and even like I mean, even getting like all the attention of ASEAN countries such as Singapore, who is like the largest foreign investor in the country. And even our government don't want to do anything really. No concrete action whatsoever. Like, okay, we organized the ASEAN meeting and even invited the military chief over, but what do we do then? We just like, okay, tell the guy that what you're doing in your country is wrong. Can you tell the world that you would think about your actions? And then and then that's it. That's like, what the hell is the point of this meeting?
It's very thoughts and prayers, sending thoughts and
Yeah,
prayers. But
yes,
yeah.
exactly. And it's so insulting to these people who are like as young as like teenagers, putting their life out there to save their damn life. And then yeah, and that's all you do. Like your action is just like just brushing them off your shoulder kind of thing. Like
Exactly.
it's
What do we say? We don't like the violence. Violence is not the answer, guys. Peace and love. Okay, Ken. Oh my god.
yeah, but I wish for the best for Myanmar. I hope everything ends soon.
Yeah, man. It's been going on so long.
Yeah, and I hope that the exile government, national unity government, they find more inroads to like really put their stamp on the country and just take over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stay strong, Myanmar.
Yeah, man. And our guest this week, we interviewed Sylvester Fader, who's the manager of Michaela Bar Singapore. And yeah, we talked to him about his brand new spot and the first Michaela Bar in a hawker center in Chinatown.
Hi, Sylvester. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi guys, thanks for having me on.
So you're like a new gen hawker and a GM of Michaela Bar here in Singapore. We just opened recently, kind of near our Singapore office, like in Chinatown, right?
Yes, it is. We're located in Chinatown Complex, and we just opened about a month ago.
Oh, that's like really recent. So you are a craft beer guru. How did you like start off, man? Like, how did you even like get into like craft beers or beers in general?
Well, I was studying overseas, so in Australia and the UK. So from there, I guess you were looking for different things to drink all the time. I was drinking mostly actually ciders at that point before coming back to Singapore. And I came back about 2010, 2011. I was looking for new products to try at all the time. It's just about experiencing and experimenting as well. So from there, I found the different distributors who sold beers. I bought them, and down the road, Smith Street Taps opened in Chinatown. So Smith Street Taps has been open for about 7.5 years. And I think I've been there since day one. Oh yeah, so going there, they only had like 6 taps, and they slowly expanded to have a lot more offerings. I guess this helped the distributors themselves as well. They brought in a lot more beers over the years because people were interested in seeing what actually is available out there.
So for noobs, so Summer and I are like noobs with beer. I'm not a huge, I'm not a huge like beer drinker. I do enjoy like certain beers, but that's because like, you know, I have friends who order them for me. So what like are the differences between like if we went to like beer 101 school, what are sort of like, you know, like the different types of beers, like just generally, and like, you know, what would be like a popular like brand that we would know?
Okay, let me share like maybe just a couple of styles. Like I think if we go through every single style, we might be here for the next 2 hours. So, so one of these, the more popular ones recently, the last couple of years, are sour beers. So sour beers are intentionally acidic, tart, and also a bit fruity. They are usually made using wild yeast strains. Either the breweries themselves actually create the yeast, or another example is they using bacteria. So bacteria in the terms of like lactobacillus, things that you find in your Yakult and Vitagen.
Okay.
These help sour the beers in a very fast time. So the breweries themselves, they actually can turn over the beers quickly. For those that use bacteria and open air, this might take a bit longer because they actually are attracting the yeast strains from the air around the brewery themselves, which is why like places like Belgium are a bit more famous for all their sour beers. And yeah, so you get a lot of different flavor profiles depending on where the beers are actually brewed at, and because of depending on the temperature, climate as well, and what actually is available in the flora and fauna of the specific area itself.
I see.
Now that you say Yakult, right? I'm like, what?
Yes.
Wait, what? Does any beer taste like Yakult? I'm asking as a child.
I'm sure there are a few around. They do create it in that certain styles, because with craft beer, anything is possible. You can actually add anything you want, like hops, yeast, chocolate, uh, vanilla bean. You can add cereal into it as well.
Wait,
So
what?
that's the beautiful thing about craft beer, where the brewers themselves get really creative, and nothing is impossible.
That is very interesting. Now I'm off to Google cereal beer after this, y'all.
like a Fruit Loop beer.
Absolutely. I would try that.
Someone actually did create a Fruit Loop beer in Melbourne.
Oh
I
my
tried to
God.
get it. I tried to get it to Singapore. I couldn't get it. I was so upset.
Oh, no.
No. I love Melbourne.
The-
I used to study
the-
there. So like I need to make another visit to the motherland to go see my school or whatever, but also to go get Fruit Loop beer.
But there's also
So-
this brewery called Garage Project. Their beers are already available in Singapore. And the most recent ones I saw, they do have a cereal milk stout. So maybe you can look up for that.
Oh wow, cereal milk. So it's like the post cereal milk.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
I'm just writing all of this down on the to-do list. But yeah, as somebody who's allergic to alcohol, actually, yeah, I know it's one of my greatest flaws. I've been told that I should try a Sessions IPA that doesn't leave me feeling very full. Is that true?
That is true. But if you are actually allergic to alcohol, we also carry non-alcoholic beers if that's something you'll be interested in trying.
Interesting. Is that a cereal milk one?
No, I'm sorry. We have one with yuzu, one with raspberry.
Oh my god, I love yuzu.
Yeah, so for Mikkeller, they actually create their own yeast strains, and they've created a series of non-alcoholic beers. So for this, we keep some of the products in our fridges at the bar itself, and it's been moving quite well because in the bar you don't just get people who want to drink beers. They bring their family, they bring their wives, pregnant ladies, and they want to be part of the party as well.
So Summer brought up the IPA. So what is like an IPA? We always hear this, and I'm sure like there are probably beer lovers around listening to us being like, "What the heck? You don't know what IPA is?" I don't. What is?
It sounds like a government agency.
So IPA is IPA is an India Pale Ale. What makes an India Pale Ale is actually the hops that are added into the beer. Hops in general give a bitterness, they give the body, and they give the aroma. So when you're talking about a session IPA, it actually just means it's a lighter IPA, less hops, there's less alcohol in the volume itself as well, and it's a very easy, more drinking, palatable beers. Because the more hops you add in as well, you need to add some malts to actually balance the body. So you can see the difference in the color grading in beers, where it can turn into really dark brown, or if they added hops in terms of boiling it, and then it turns a bit darker shades of amber. Some IPAs, they don't boil as much hops, they actually dry hop it. So dry hop is actually not boiling the hops in the beer. It's like putting in a tea bag and putting in the beer for it to absorb the aromas. So with
more
beer
hops,
in general, more hops gives the body or the bitterness or the aromas in the beer.
Does that mean that's when they become? Does that give it the color as well? Like this, you get the brown ales because of that, or is that like a completely different thing?
Some of the brown ales come from the malt, so they can actually roast the malt, or there are like chocolate malts as well, and these actually give the color and the body to the beer. So a lot of things come into play at the end of the day.
So, and then the other two more popular ones are like lagers and stouts, right? And stouts, I guess I kind of know, like from like Guinness Stout. So it's like a darker, stronger. Would you say darker, stronger beer?
Yes. Higher in alcohol as well, actually, compared to IPAs and lagers. Lagers are like the easygoing styles of beers. It's something to be clean and crisp, something very refreshing. So something you can crush all the time, every day.
all times of the day.
Exactly.
What would Tiger beer count as? Is that like a lager, or is that like what is that?
Tiger beer would be under a lager, yes.
Okay.
Like a lager pilsner kind of thing. Very easy drinking, but it has to be ice cold for Tiger beer, because when it comes to all these commercial beers, once it starts warming up, you get, those like really bitter, horrible flavors that, a lot of people might not really enjoy. Which is why when you go to like hawker centers, you get an ice cold glass, and even the bottle of beers that come in is ice cold as well.
Ah, so that means like the flavor actually changes when the temperature changes.
Yes, it does.
Oh wow. Okay. So how was it like working in Macau, Bangkok, and then coming here to Singapore? How like what is like beer culture in Thailand? One of our main offices is in Thailand, in Bangkok. So I'm just interested to know what your thoughts are on like Thai beer culture versus like Singapore beer culture.
So for Thailand, the craft beer side of things, they actually the market is a lot bigger than Singapore, just because
Mm.
it's such a big country. In Bangkok alone, we were calculating that Bangkok in and out travel, including people who live there, it's up to 10 million people.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
So with that, they also that's why you have a lot more craft beer bars around, and you can find beers in places like Koh Phangan or in Chiang Rai up north in Thailand, where nobody really
Yeah.
visits a lot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then for Bangkok, Mikala Bangkok was actually the first outpost in Asia. They opened about 7 years ago as well. And while I was there, I was managing, they had 3 craft beer bars around Bangkok. And we also had a Michelin star restaurant, the first
Oh,
one
wow.
to actually do a craft beer and food pairing.
Mm. Yeah, now that you brought that up, this is an interesting part of like your store. It's actually like in a hawker center for some of our listeners. That's just like a general food court, outdoor food. Well, I wouldn't say outdoor, sheltered, open
Mhm.
air like place where we have like affordable but really tasty food. And yeah, how is that dynamic of having a craft beer store like in a hawker center, which is not like the usual thing?
So my bosses, Ming Chow and Daniel, the founders of Sim Street Taps, and also now the partners in Mikala, Singapore, they already ran the 2 craft beer bars in Chinatown complex. So they've actually had a bit of traction over the years. They've come out on like Silk M, on the Singapore Airlines magazines, Japanese magazines. So there was a very good tourism customer base that comes from time to time. And with that, also when I came back from Bangkok, middle of July last year, when after working for Mikala, I found out that Mikala was not open in Singapore anymore, which is why I pitched the idea to reopen a hawker craft beer bar of the Mikala brand, and to be like do an East meets West kind of thing, because you have Scandinavian beers paired with like the amazing hawkers, the legends basically that are in Chinatown complex itself.
Oh, oh my gosh!
Mm.
Now that you've brought it up, right, I totally
Mhm.
have to ask what
Mhm.
what Singaporean hawker foods, right, go with craft beer?
Well, that's the good thing. I say everything, because we have, so for Mikala Bank Singapore, we have 10 taps of beers, and we have a fridge that we constantly rotate the different beers as well. So
Mm.
with this, we've been actually experimenting with the different hawkers in the area of where we are, because
Mm.
Chinatown Complex has 200 over food stalls that you can go around during lunchtime or even dinner time. So where we are in the current zone, we've actually tried pairing satay with our stouts. We've done chendol with our imperial oatmeal stouts as well. So we've found that like a really good dessert, especially with rainy days.
Mm.
Chendol with stouts. Wow, that's actually like
Yes.
very interesting. Yeah, chendol being the icy, I guess like shaved ice. Like there's like coconut milk in it. There's like
Yep.
red
Gula
beans.
Melaka?
What is it?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
gula
you have the
melaka.
gula melaka, you have that the green worms. I don't know what you call that. Is that the chendol itself?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure.
Jellies, right?
Green one.
Jellies, I think.
Yeah. So
We'll all get
that's
on
with a
Google.
bit of kaya. So with this,
Mm.
we paired it with a Fatsico stout, which is like an ice cream, very cacao vanilla flavors. Even though it's a
Mm.
13.6% beer, it's a
Oh
very
wow.
nice thing to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now I got like 4,000 questions. I feel like I want to name a list of Singaporean hawker foods. What goes with this? And then I'll just like let you answer me for 3.5 hours. But yeah, okay, I'll just leave it to one. Does anything go with chicken rice?
Chicken rice, we have not tried anything yet, but I
Okay,
would
okay.
I would prefer to do something like either a lager or a kosh. just because
Mm.
chicken rice can get a bit more oily.
True,
So,
true.
Yeah.
you want something a bit more refreshing just to wash it down. So
Okay.
at the moment right now we have like a tropical lager. So a tropical lager, they actually have fruit juice inside the beer.
Yeah.
It's not sweet, but it just adds the aroma and it helps cut the bitterness of the lager at the end as well. So these are some of the beers that we would recommend where, say, if you're wanting to eat something a bit more greasier, like chicken
Mm.
rice or maybe like a xiao long bao. So these are
Ooh.
you can actually play around with.
Oh
It's
my
basically something
God. I
like
didn't.
rich. Mm.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say something. So basically, something rich, and then you have
Mhm.
like sort of a very like refreshing beer to wash it down with.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just thinking that I didn't wake up today thinking that I would hear the words Xiao Long Bao beer pairing, but here we are. And it sounds like there's a world of possibilities out there. And I'm just like, I just need to buy more alcohol allergy pills and then go and try all of it.
Another interesting pairing you can think about as well. So the thing about IPAs with hops, it actually coats your tongue. So it's something like having a red wine. It's a bit astringent. And with these
Okay.
hoppy beers, it actually carries spice for a very long period of time.
Ah.
So if you want to pair with a mala xiangguo, you can do it with a very hoppy beer, and that hoppy beer will actually carry the spice in your mouth for a longer period of time than it normally would be.
What? That's
Oh,
crazy. And I'm just
I
thinking
don't know.
about how I'm just thinking about how there's like a Michaela Bangkok, and obviously Thai food is spicy as all hell. So
Yep,
is that what the
Mhm.
Thai people are up to? They're just like keeping the spice in their mouth forever? Is
they
that the culture?
do. So, because from Mikala Bangkok, when previously we had three different bars, one of them was in Mikala Ari. That was
Mm.
actually our Asian concept bar. So
Mm.
we have the lap mu tor, we have the cow soys, we have a lot of
Okay.
like those spicy meatballs, and then that's where we started pairing with craft beers as well. Then for
Mm.
the Color Bangkok was the original outpost. We do more of like the Western food. So we do like barbecue meats, we do
Yeah.
burgers, onion rings, cheese platters as well.
Wow. Yeah, I can totally see like eating like some saiwa and drinking like some really fancy like lager.
Mm.
So let's get to some serious questions, man. What
Mhm.
was the first beer you ever had?
I honestly cannot remember because I mean to be publicly honest, like I definitely drank alcohol when I was underage, but I guess
Oh, oh,
at that point
oh,
in time, you drank anything that was available,
Mm.
yeah.
anything you can get from the maybe a mama shop or maybe getting a
Mhm.
older friend to buy from 7-Eleven.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, in all honesty, I couldn't probably remember my first drink either. But I'm
Same.
gonna assume it's probably some Smirnoff Ice or some gross like Bacardi
Oh
Cruiser type
yes,
things from 7-Eleven
definitely
or something.
something orange or blue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The more fluorescent, the better.
Mhm.
But yeah, Sylvester, if you have to choose one beer to drink for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Well, it would be the Mikala Do Stuff Together.
Mm-hmm.
So we currently have that on at the bar, if I'm not wrong. It's a New England Pale Ale. So the thing about New England is a type of a yeast strain that they use in beers that gives this really fruity, very soft, pillowy aroma and flavor to the beer itself.
Mm.
And after that, they added two different types of hops, lemon drop and Idaho 7. So it makes this beer really creamy and smooth, a touch sweet, but a bit of citrusness to just help to cut it out as well. With that, it actually, I find it's a very crushable beer just because of the weather that we have in Singapore, which
Mm,
is bloody hot right now.
indeed. But yeah, and for non-beer drinkers, what do you think is a
Mhm.
good starter beer for us children out there?
Well, it goes back to the non-alcoholic beers I was recommending earlier when I was talking to you about this,
Mm,
because they actually created it in a way where it's almost like beer. It's just that you don't get the alcohol out of it.
mhm,
So we have like the other one, Drinking in the Sun, I was talking about. It's an American style wheat beer. So
Mm.
if people what's that beer? I can't remember what is it called. They have like a couple wheat beers in Singapore that people really enjoy. So this is something that we would recommend them to try first. Another option would be something of the lower alcohol beers that we have. So it's either like a tropical lager or maybe like a Kolsch as well.
Interesting. Writing all of this down. But yeah, I do want to ask as well, what is the long-term vision and goals for the stall?
Well, at the moment, we are focusing on rebuilding the Mikkeller brand in Singapore just because it was not open for the last almost 1 year. So with that, we are trying to bring in more seasonal offerings. So with the Mikkeller sphere, they have partnerships with a lot of like breweries called War Pigs, or we have the Spontan series, where it's like spontaneous fermentation, sour beers. So we try to do an event once every couple of weeks, at least once, 2 events a month. We also are starting to air freight beers into Singapore. So that's where we are going to offer really special beers. Obviously, it's a bit pricier, but it might be beers that it's never been here before.
Interesting.
Then apart from that, of course, we are looking at expansions. Hopefully either another hawker craft beer bar, or if we can find a restaurant, someone who can do food really well, and we see that we actually do have synergy, we would love to pair with them to open a different concept down the road. Apart from that, we're also looking at collaborations with local breweries and artists as well. So these are all in the works as of now, but that's all I can share with you at the moment.
Oh, secrecy. But yeah, sounds super exciting.
Yeah, I have one final question as we close.
Sure.
Across Asia, like I think there's a lot of like craft beers from different countries. Which country do you think which country do you think that is sort of like ahead of the game or leading the charge, or do you think that there's great craft beers coming out from all our countries in this region?
In general, at the moment, over the last couple of years, like a lot of countries have been up and coming in terms of producing beers or having the craft beer scene. Something I feel that was really lacking in Singapore is we actually don't have a lot of craft beer breweries ourselves, just because of the licensing laws. It's a bit of a hindrance, and it's very capital intensive as well. So this is something that Vietnam actually has a very big head start ahead of us. They have breweries like Heart of Darkness and Pastor Street Brewing as well, where they smash out amazing beers like really hoppy IPAs or chocolate stouts. Another place that's really doing very well as well is Japan and Korea. So because also of where they have a amazing variety of produce that they can use in the beers themselves without having to import into the country. So when you start importing products like even hops or oranges or pineapples or all these things into Singapore to start making beers, it actually degrades really quickly. So this is something also that I feel that we are lacking a little bit on. But of course, now over the last couple of months or years, we have breweries like Off Day Beer in Singapore. They're really championing local in terms of partnering with artists and brewers as well to create something different on a monthly basis. So this is what they are showing what we can actually do in Singapore, which we're really proud of.
Very exciting. Sir, thanks so much, man, for coming down and kind of breaking down for us noobs the beer culture, and obviously very excited for your restaurant, for your store, and hopefully we can pop by sometime soon. We're just right around the corner, so I don't see why not.
Please do. I hope to see you guys for beer soon.
Woo! More drinks. And please call me whenever that cereal milk beer comes in.
I will. I'll let you know.
Bless you, child.
Okay, that sounds like a cool dude.
Very cool dude. But yes, as discussed, the bar is kind of 5 minutes away from our office, which is equal parts good and a bad thing.
Yeah, I think more bars should like more mini bars should open at hawker centers, and because they're just like switch it up a bit and like have a little bit more variety. I mean, obviously we want to have like your traditional food, like we want your chicken rice, carrot cake, your mee rebus, but we also have like younger generation who also want to have like maybe pretty like craft alcoholic or non-alcoholic beers with their food or something. I think it's quite cool. I think more of them should be at hawker centers.
For sure. And yeah, Sylvester also mentioned hawker food pairings with craft beer. And now I'm like, shit, what goes with chicken rice? I got to try everything. Yeah.
I'll put it on your list. See, that's why we need Singapore rediscovers for hawker centers.
Bordeaux, you see, you can go and like sit there and drink. That should be a plan.
Right? You give me it's $100, right?
Yeah, dude.
$100. That's like, I don't know, maybe spend $10-15 a day on 10 days of hawker food. Straight. I can do a 10 days of hawker food challenge.
Okay, that would be a good video idea. We'll write that down.
Awesome.
Okay, that's all we have this week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to support Coconuts and our weird and wondrous stories, you can become a Coco Plus member at coconuts.co/membership, make a patron payment at coconuts.co/patron, or buy our fresh merch at the Coconut Shop at shop.coconuts.co. Subscribe to the podcast and leave reviews. Tell us how you feel and what you like and don't like. We're excited to hear from you.
The Coconuts Podcast delivers impactful, weird, and wondrous reporting by our journalists on the ground in 8 cities: Singapore, Bangkok, Hong Kong, Manila, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Yangon, and Bali. Listen to headline news and insightful interviews on matters large and small, designed for people located in or curious about Southeast Asia and Hong Kong.
The Coconuts Podcast is a Coconuts Media production. Our hosts are Summer Lee and Nurul Aslia. Our executive producer is Byron Perry. Our production manager is Clarissa Cortez. And our editor is Rainer Lim.